As emotionally overwhelming and regrettable as a relapse could be, it's common. A little moment of weakness can wreck all the progress you have made towards recovery. As a result, many people reluctantly give in to their addiction, refusing to fight the temptation. Hence, they relapse. Are you afraid you're going into a relapse? Should you go back to rehab? Should you immediately connect with a specialist offering substance use disorder services? If you're committed to your well-being and that was only an isolated incident, you might not necessarily need to return to rehab. However, if you're using alcohol or drug again and there's a pattern there, it definitely calls for attention and you need to seek professional help. Looking at the signs. Usually, there are early signs of a possible relapse. If you can identify these signs early on, you can take appropriate measures quickly to aid your recovery. Your personal commitment is the biggest telltale sign here. If you're not serious about keeping your recovery and sobriety intact, if that's not your top priority, you will inevitably fall at the first instance you experience a trigger. Your unwillingness to beat the addiction in the first place is another sign. Many people seek treatment only under pressure or emotional coercion from friends and family. They don't really care. They are more likely to go into a relapse. Are you one of them? Lack of emotional support is another significant telltale that your relapse could be right around the corner. If you don't have friends or family who you can rely on, who hold you accountable, that's not exactly a good thing. What to do if you've relapsed? By looking at the signs mentioned above, you can figure out if you're more likely to relapse. If so, you can take early steps to avoid the fall. However, what if you've already fallen? As mentioned earlier, if that was an isolated event, you can learn from that experience. But if you're back on drugs or alcohol, and if it's recurring and you see a pattern, you must go back to rehabilitation. Get in touch with a good specialist that offers substance use disorders and get back on your treatment. Invest more of your time and efforts this time. Now that you have relapsed, you have the experience of what went wrong. You can learn from that experience and prevent anything like that from happening again. For instance, if you hung out with friends who encourage you to drink, you may not want to hang out with them again. If your work-related stress pushed you towards drugs, you may want to discuss with your employer about cutting you some slack. You can even consider getting a new job. Keep investing in yourself. Keep working with your counselor and doctor. Take up better practices. Learn ways to cope up with your mental health issues and strong emotions like anger, grief, and depression. Beyond treatment, start working out, start meditating, and doing yoga. Pick up a hobby. Start eating healthier food. Overall, start taking better care of your health. Consult your doctor and regularly go for routine checkups. Google medical labs near me and do any recommended tests in a good facility. Giving into your momentary cravings is bad. But don't assume that relapse is the end, that you're not strong enough for recovery. You can pull yourself back. You can beat your addiction permanently. You simply have to persist. So, don't lose hope. Relapsed. Get back on track again. This time, be more committed. This time, invest more in your overall health and well-being.